Today on the Morning Edition, flood warnings canceled. A glacier-dammed lake outburst following a record-breaking flooding event in August put residents on high alert once again. But officials now saying the waters are receding. We'll bring you the latest updates. Plus,
I think I would want them most to remember just him for his heart and how fiercely he loved the people that were in his life.
a day after he went missing, authorities find a 30-year-old New York man who they say fell to his death while camping on Kodiak. How his family is remembering and honoring him. And later, thousands show up at Washington Dulles International Airport, not to catch a flight, but to pull planes with their bare hands. And it was all for a good cause as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Tuesday morning, everyone. A bit of a scare in Juneau yesterday.
Yeah, we did. We saw that flood warning that went into effect right before, shortly after the Morning Edition yesterday due to that glacial lake outburst flooding event. The good news is not as bad as what it could have been, as that river level did crest at right around 9.62 feet around 7:30 last night. That flood warning expired around 10:30 yesterday evening, and you can see that water levels, they have been steadily dropping since then, and we're going to kind of see Mendenhall Lake and River as well as Suicide Basin kind of level out here over the next couple of days, really through the remainder of today on into your Wednesday. So that is some good news when it comes to Mendenhall Lake and River. With that said, we're still seeing some very heavy rainfall out towards southeast, and then expected to see this extended rain event stick around through the rest of this week. We've also got high wind watches in effect for a good portion of the Panhandle, where we are expecting to see winds increasing into your Wednesday. This comes from several areas of low pressure that are going to sweep through the Gulf of Alaska. Of course, the current area of low pressure continuing to lead to rain for both southeast as well as here in south central. While most of that rain has been for coastal regions, inland areas, we are still holding on to that chance for some isolated to scattered showers. Nothing significant, but we will keep that rain around for today with some possible sunshine breaks for inland areas throughout the afternoon hours. You can see again out towards coastal areas, this is where we'll see that heaviest rainfall sticking around. Up to an inch looks possible as you head across western parts of Prince William Sound, while inland areas we'll see likely less than 1/10 of an inch, so just some sprinkles to light drizzle activity expected for your Tuesday into early Wednesday. But we are trending on the drier side here over the next couple of days with drier weather in the forecast. Now, by week's end, we could see some more showers building back in across south central, but just some isolated to scattered activity. Nothing that looks to be widespread. I'll have more on that 7-day forecast for you coming up.
Continuing today's top story out of southeast, folks in Juneau can breathe a sigh of relief after the river crest was significantly downgraded overnight. But officials were still on high alert into the evening until that threat was downgraded. Now, even though they weren't put to the test this time around, borough officials say a project to install new flood barriers earlier this year has already proved to become a strong line of defense against rising waters.
However, we do believe that the HESCO barriers, which protected hundreds of homes, if not over 1,000 homes in our August event, will be very adequate to protect the majority of homes, life and safety and infrastructure.
And it wasn't just Juneau facing flooding recently, as the area around Ketchikan was also under a flood warning that lasted until 1:30 this morning. The area has been drenched by pouring rain and battered by high winds since Sunday. A little bit south of Ketchikan, those winds were even strong enough to cause this barge to come loose from its moorings in Metlakatla. The barge got stuck on a reef before being pushed back to the docks by tugboat, according to local police. The Metlakatla Indian community alerted residents to the incident on its Facebook page, writing that it was, quote, well aware of the situation due to the stormy weather and it is being addressed. Well, remember, you can always stay ahead of severe weather and danger with our 24/7 Alaska Weather Channel. Download it today and stream the latest forecasts and updates on your device. Officials have identified a man from New York who died after a fall while camping in Kodiak over the weekend. Charlie Fellows spoke with his wife, who says she hopes people remember him as a positive light and a dedicated husband and father.
Very funny, outgoing, incredibly skilled and talented, and very smart.
An overwhelmingly positive review for Andrew James Pillins. who tragically passed away Saturday in Kodiak. Angela, his wife of 10 years, had many words to say to describe her husband, but one kept on popping up.
Dedicated, very dedicated. Our oldest was in hockey for about 8 years, and we would have to travel every single weekend. We would be all over the place, driving hours and hours away, teaching him through every football season and through so many things.
Andrew and Angela raised a blended family of 4 kids in Fulton, New York. The kids, Angela says, were always his focus.
He was just most alive when he was with his kids and out in nature. He just loved teaching them. He was very fun. He was always the one that was, holding the fun together, really. He was the kid right along with him.
Oh!
That was a big one!
But his positive aura wasn't limited to just his kids. Angela knows his memory will forever be a positive one in all the lives he touched.
I think I would want them most to remember just him for his heart and how fiercely he loved the people that were in his life, because he was so dedicated to everybody that he came into contact with. He just was a really good man.
Charlie Fellows, Alaska's news source.
A woman is in the hospital fighting for her life after a weekend shooting. That's according to the Anchorage Police Department. Police say it happened Saturday near the 100 block of North Post Road. This is video from the scene where officers found the woman with trauma to the upper body. Police say they are following up on leads but have not released any suspect information. Anyone with details is urged to contact police dispatch at 311. After a historic 156-year-long sentence was handed down in a Bethel child sexual abuse case, state prosecutors are saying they hope this gives other victims hope and faith in the justice system. As we first reported last week, 58-year-old Leonard Olrun from Kodiak was sentenced Friday to more than 156 years for sexually abusing 3 children between 2019 to 2021 and supplying them with marijuana. He has an extensive criminal history dating back to 1987. Prosecutors say that a history of violent behavior factored heavily into the sentencing decision. The case's assistant attorney general says they hope the way this case was handled serves as an impetus to help others come forward.
It shows that the justice system can respond, can work, and that when people come forward and when people do the things they should do, like listen to children, like report when children tell them things, that the system works and that.
The Assistant Attorney General encourages anyone who feels they've been a victim of sexual assault to reach out to anyone they feel comfortable speaking with and help connect them with resources around the state. We've included a link to those resources on our website and mobile app. Despite a summer full of funding challenges, Anchorage School Superintendent Jarrett Bryant says the school year started off strong, but says the pressure needs to stay on the legislature to continue funding education. Speaking at Monday's Anchorage Chamber of Commerce luncheon, Bryant noted the district was able to hire more teachers after $10 million in state funding was restored just before classes began. But he warned they're still going to need more funding going forward to protect the progress they've made.
A lack of investment is a permission structure to backslide. So my ask to the legislature is don't let us backslide. We can't let this victory of this summer go to naught. We have to protect our progress, and that means investing in what matters most, the resources for our kids.
Bryant said inflation is also a big factor in the district struggling to meet with budget constraints. A new report reveals what you're really inhaling while on a flight. We'll have details on that and why one doctor comparing the trauma of these brain effects to concussions found in NFL players.
Still holding on to wet weather across South Central. Of course, we're still seeing some warmer conditions. I'll have more on that, but first at sunrise, 7:30 in Anchorage, 6:30 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
Welcome back. 12 minutes past the hour on this Tuesday morning. Aaron, still a little bit wet out there in South Central.
Yeah, particularly for coastal areas where we've been holding on to rain for a good portion of the start of this week. And we're still favoring those rain showers as we start off your Tuesday. 48 degrees for that bus stop forecast. We could see some isolated showers for inland areas of South Central by this afternoon. And by the time you head home, we'll see those temperatures sitting in the upper 50s with some sunshine breaks looking possible. Those temperatures for the foreseeable future likely will continue to climb into the upper 50s, if not some lower 60s. We got rain as well as some breezy conditions out towards southeast, still holding on to fairly quiet weather out west with some of those cooler mornings. You can see 37 in Kotzebue. We're also seeing areas out towards the Copper River Basin waking up to temperatures sitting near freezing this morning. So some localized areas of some frost will be possible to start off your Tuesday. There's that area of low pressure in the Gulf of Alaska that continues to lead to increasing rain for South Central. We got an atmospheric river out towards southeast that will lead to increasing rain here over the next couple of days. Winds will steadily increase into the night for the Panhandle, where we do have that high wind watch that goes into effect. So both locations will continue to hold on to some rain throughout the remainder of today. Of course, for the Panhandle, we'll see some of that heaviest rainfall really gripping portions of the northern Panhandle and the outer coast is where we're going to hold on to that better chance for some rain. We'll also continue to see at least some increasing rain showers for coastal regions through the middle of the week, as well as out towards the Copper River Basin, which has largely been on the dry side with each storm system we have seen. But still favoring some of these rain showers, although a lot drier activity this week is to be expected for South Central. We'll see those temperatures today warming upper 50s and lower 60s. Again, some sunshine breaks will be possible later this afternoon into the evening hours as we climb into the upper 50s and lower 60s. Through the interior, we're also expecting to see some sunshine for the day with a gradual return to some rain into your Wednesday. Those temperatures sitting in the upper 50s and the lower 60s with widespread rain really building into the Panhandle through the rest of this week. With that said, we're still holding on to some warmer weather while the southern Panhandle will see those temperatures topping out near 70 degrees. So still holding on to some warmth across the state. Along the slope, we'll see those temperatures sitting in the upper 30s, if not near 40 degrees. We're still favoring many locations across southern coastline with that wet weather. But notice out west, we continue to see dry conditions. That's all thanks to that ridge of high pressure, which is leading to sunshine and a slow but gradual warming trend with temperatures climbing back into the low 50s. But you see most of that rain really building into eastern parts of the state, particularly for South Central, as well as out towards southeast. When we're talking about that rainfall across coastal regions of South Central, inland areas may actually stay on the dry side into our Wednesday and Thursday with some sunshine. By Friday, we will see that chance for some showers returning back in the forecast. Daily highs stay in the mid to upper 50s. We are finally, well, not finally, but we are officially closing out the summer by Sunday. That is the last day. And then as we welcome in Monday, the official start of fall, we'll see a high of 55 degrees. And again, while we can't rule out some showers throughout the week, trending a lot drier for inland areas across South Central.
A Wall Street Journal investigation finds toxic fumes are leaking into airplanes, making flight crews and passengers sick. Emily Aikida has more details on that report.
This morning, new concerns about fumes in the skies.
People was on the plane saying, smoke, 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 yelling.
As some passengers have experienced smoke in plane cabins. The Wall Street Journal this weekend releasing a report on toxic fumes leaking into cabins, writing that the rate of incidents is accelerating in recent years. The Journal reviewing more than 1 million FAA and NASA reports, along with documents and over 100 interviews. The investigation pointing to two of the biggest aircraft manufacturers, Boeing and Airbus, particularly Airbus's A320 jet line, writing both have acknowledged malfunctions can lead to oil and hydraulic fluid leaking, resulting in the release of unknown quantities of neurotoxins, carbon monoxide, and other chemicals into the air. Airbus telling NBC News its aircraft are designed and manufactured according to all relevant and applicable airworthiness requirements. And a Boeing spokesperson telling the Journal, quote, "The cabin air inside Boeing airplanes is safe." The Journal outlining the effects of fumes in cabins, saying their smell is described as wet dog, Cheetos, or nail polish. in some cases making passengers sick and affecting pilots' vision and reaction times, according to official reports obtained by the paper. The FAA says the incidents are rare and cites a 2015 review that estimated a rate of less than 33 events per million aircraft departures. But the journal says its analysis suggests the rate was around 3 times that by 2024. The Wall Street Journal noting that most odors in aircraft aren't toxic and neither are all vapors. The effects are often fleeting, mild, or present no symptoms. There have also been incidents of visible smoke in the air. In February, passengers on board a Delta flight seen covering their faces in a smoke-filled cabin.
Breathe through your clothes, Nana.
The plane landing safely.
The flight attendant got on the mic and was like, guys, we're aware that it's smoking. We're trying to get in touch with the pilot.
Delta telling the Wall Street Journal the company was cooperating with a continuing NTSB review. Now this morning, renewed calls for air safety after takeoff.
Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically and stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.